Okay, dearly beloved. No,
Yeah.
Of course, I'm just joking. Well, it's been a while, but some remote recording is in order. We have to do it because we have to keep it shape. Not that it's a good one. Today we are going to be discussing the latest developments in the Apple/Mac/Mac Mini world. I found their latest launches to be very interesting and revealing. Some of the models are really interesting for discussion, let's call it that way. But without further ado, without saying too much up front, let's roll the intro and let's start talking. Okay, question for you.
Yes.
Do you have any Mac Minis?
Yes, I have the M1 and I'm actually planning on buying M4 coming Christmas.
M4 regular or M4 Pro?
No, M4 regular, because it is proven to be... Apple itself claims that it is 2.5 times faster than the M1.
Mm-hmm.
And from what it's worth, M1 was actually doing whatever it needed to do. So I think that for the price point, which is 699 euros here in Croatia, including VAT, that's completely fine.
Are you sure about those prices?
I'm not completely sure, but I was looking at them yesterday.
$799 for the base model, not $699.
$899.
$799.
$799.
Yeah.
So what is that? That is 20% less than, so $640 for the without VAT for the Mini. That's okay. That's fine. for a functional computer that is running Apple intelligence, not any other intelligence than Apple's intelligence, I'm completely fine with it.
Your mathematics is on par as always, by the way.
Yes, but the thing is that I don't mind what Apple did. I'm a little bit confused by what Apple did to itself, but I don't mind because it is proving to be an extremely interesting launch, an extremely interesting couple of models being launched. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to start with just one tangent. This tangent is not exactly a tangent, I just want to mention something. And that is that performance of M4 Ultra, okay, the most expensive chipset there is, so the most expensive CPU there is and GPU there is, but it has comparable performance to a 3080 or 4080 even, depending on what you're doing on it. And the thing is that when it comes to that kind of performance, I think that what Apple is doing is they are doing it in a power envelope of something like 50 watts or something. And by itself, 4080 is something like 400 watts. So this is an amazing thing. It's at least it's an amazing feat of engineering. I'm not going to go as far and say, okay, this is an amazing thing that you should buy it, because the price is a little bit steep. But then again, when it goes, when it comes to the performance, I think that what Apple has done is amazing.
Okay, you done with ranting about how everything is good?
No, it's not good. But the problem is that when it comes to actually buying parts, I was just checking, starting M4 Max configuration with MacBook Pro is going to be $3,200. And this means that you can actually get a pretty sweet working desktop PC with 4080 Super and with a lot of RAM, much higher specs than what you will get for the rest of the configuration. On the other hand, what Apple is doing, you're getting this in a laptop. Mm-hmm. You're not getting it on a desktop. And this is going to be a deal breaker for some people because they want to have a mobile workstation.
Okay. Are you at all interested in what's happening in terms of the laptops right now, or are you just interested for the purpose of this conversation about the Mac Mini?
When it comes to laptops, I'm expecting to see what is going to happen with the MacBook Air. Because this is the only laptop that is even remotely interesting to me.
Okay.
I don't want an overpriced workstation. And the MacBook Air has proven to be priced in such a price range that it makes sense to buy it for the things that I'm doing with it. So it's a regular take it outside and work with it laptop for not that high of a price. On the other hand, I bought, as I probably mentioned in previous episodes, I got HP, refurbished HP that is still under warranty. And what actually surprised me, because I had a problem with the memory over the weekend, and I looked up the warranty is 2 more years. So I actually bought it with bought with 4-year warranty, extended warranty from HP. So I'm going to get it fixed under warranty, and it was a refurbished part for €400.
Yeah, I would just like to put one thing on the table, which is that in Croatia, the 14-inch MacBook Pro with M4, not M4 Pro, with M4, starts with €2150. And the M4 Pro 14-inch as well, $27.50. And then if you really want to have a headache, 14-inch MacBook Pro M4 Max, $42.90. So €4,290. And the 16-inch...
Or 43.
Yeah, 16-inch starts with 4,300 and then goes up to 4,600 something, which is absolute insanity. That's compared to the previous generations of Intel products, they were, I don't remember a single SKU that was that expensive unless it was a very custom one. You know.
The thing is that when you're comparing it to a regular PC, what you can get for that kind of money is probably workstation powered by pretty hardcore hardware. I'm going to look up what is the pricing for the Z series of the HP, but I would guess that the prices are going to be pretty lower than what you would buy for this price.
Okay. While I look for that, I'm going to rant a little bit about the minis. Because I have 2 minis here right next to me. One of them is just like yours, M1 base model. And I have one a little bit older, which is i7 based. So old Intel based. It's in a Sonnet rack Mac Mini case, which is, that 19-inch extensions for the Mac Mini, which can fit 2 of them. The M1 I use every single day. The Intel one might still tend to use at times, but not that much anymore. I'm thinking about replacing it with basically maybe old for new, to refurbish something. They have a couple of programs for that too available, although the prices for the older models that our local distributor is willing to offer are ridiculously funny, but it's better than if it just sits here and does nothing.
I'll buy it off you, and you can get probably better pricing than what the dealer is going to get you.
Oh, that's your comeback at me not giving you the capability to have the iMac, right?
No. The iMac is a separate issue,
which needs to settle.
The ticket is still open.
The ticket is still in the system. I knew it. That's cool. Then the next part of the discussion is going to revolve strictly around minis. First and foremost, the level of idiocy that our local distributor has right now is just incredible. Prices we already discussed. I don't want to go over that. We discussed it here, and we discussed it more than a year ago when we were trying to go through the Apple's complete offering in terms of the products, where we both commented on the fact that they are much more expensive than in the US, which we expect. But I do
one more thing. The thing that has changed is that Apple actually made their offering even more confusing to them.
Yes, I agree. We can comment on that a little bit later. But what I was getting at is, in the past, there were a couple of, let's say, couple of separate offers available either for students or for, generally speaking, educational stuff. You know, everybody who worked as a teacher, primary, secondary school, college, whatever. We had some capabilities to buy them a little bit off, and those prices in the past were, I don't know, a couple of €100 depending on the model. For the more expensive ones, were in terms of the amount of money that you that the offer was for less for. Let's call it that way. Right now, they have a 3% student discount. For example, for Mac Mini M4 Pro, and they have, let's see, the same offer for the Mac 4 Mini. So €800, and this is 1850. So €1,850. 3% out of that is going to be €50 for the bigger one, and for the smaller one, 20, 24 euros or something like that, which is ridiculous. Having in mind the input price, let's call it that way, that they are trying to offer it for, that's really not all that good. Second thing, the M4 model, the base one, there are actually two available. There's actually one available model in terms of the memory amount, and then there are a couple of models in terms of storage, which is something that we need to comment on. I think we're going to both agree that Apple is the worst company in the world when it comes to storage expansion, and that's easy to explain why. On the M4 Pro,
okay, but just 1 second.
Mhm.
I wanted to mention one important detail which actually surprised me.
Yeah,
and that is
I
that it is able at last you can actually exchange if you are able to find another SSD. But the SSD in the M4 Mini is actually not soldered to the board, so it is an actual part that you can change.
yeah, I know, but still, it has a specific interface which is Apple only, and God knows how much it's going to cost, or until OWC or somebody comes up with some kind of a upgrade option. Let's see what happens. The Pro model, M4 Pro Mac Mini, comes with 24 gigabytes of memory. Let's give kudos to Apple for finally getting into year 2024 by offering 16 gig as a standard for Mac Mini altogether, which in the past both yours model and mine have 8 gigabytes of memory, the base one, M1, which somebody might say doesn't really matter, but it does for some of the stuff that we do. The storage, I think, starts at 512 for the M4 Pro model, but the price is, I'm now commenting on the Croatian price, then we can talk about the international ones as well. The price is 800 versus 1850, which is 2.5 times more or something like that, for basically 256 gigabytes of more storage, 8 gigabytes of more RAM, and the CPU, which has the regular M4 is 1010, 10 core CPU, 10 core GPU, and this one is 1260. My gripe, the biggest one actually, is not related to memory. I'm happy with that. It's still the storage. 256 gigabytes might, of course, we need to be aware of the fact that 256 is probably enough for most of the users. So I'm willing to acknowledge that. I'm not exactly sure that it's true, but it's closer to the truth than saying that everybody needs a terabyte.
Okay, but on the other hand, I'm going to go with the price that you need to pay to expand this storage is such that it's much more convenient, much more intelligent to just go and buy a SSD, external SSD with USB 3.2 outright, and then have enough storage for the price that is going to be negligibly more.
Oh, I'm with you, except that you're wrong about one thing: not USB 3.2. The Pro model has Thunderbolt 5. The base model has Thunderbolt 4. So forget about USB 3.2. Thunderbolt 4 or 5 are the ticket for that. Having in mind that there are many SSDs available on those. The Thunderbolt 4 especially, Thunderbolt 5 not so much, but they are coming out slowly. There are a couple of models available. they're much more, let's say, approachable way of doing storage expansion on Mac Mini, and that has been happening for a while. This is nothing new. Personally, I bought that mini stack from OWC for external storage actually last year, because I got fed up with the bullshit that they have with storage. So inside I have a couple of SSDs and NVMe and a regular hard drive for backup, and very happy with that device. Although it's not as fast, but it's very convenient. And of course it has 3 extra Thunderbolt ports. You can charge via them. So there are inherent advantages of going that way. That actually might be a topic for some other episode as well, because I think that we are due to do an update on the episode about connectivity on computers and motherboards and laptops and whatnot, because the situation, if you ask me, is getting worse for the most part.
And the situation is getting way worse. This is one thing, and the other thing is that for a thing, what you are going to have to do if you own a Mac Mini right now. New Mac Mini comes with a new form factor.
Mm-hmm.
So all the accessories that are meant to be used as an extension of the Mac Mini are not going to work, or they're going to be comically large when compared
because
to
it's much smaller than what it was. That being said, design-wise, everybody has just one complaint, which is the location of the power button.
I don't care. To be completely honest, I completely don't care.
Me neither. For me,
because I don't turn off the computer, and
Same.
I think that what people are mistaken about. Apple actually has data about how many computers are being rebooted, shut down, or turned on each day. So they actually know what the usage pattern is. So they know why they put the button on the bottom of the device.
I think it would be much better if they put it on top as a logo button or something like that. A lot of people commented on that. I agree with it, but I don't care one way or the other.
I think this is a cost cutting.
Yeah.
This is a cost cutting measure, because if you put it under, what you are doing, you are drilling a hole in the plastic.
Mm-hmm.
And if you had to put it over it, you had to drill a hole and create the entirety of the problems with the aluminum and everything else. So this is a cost-cutting measure.
Okay, but there are a couple of things to be added that are really good. I mean, there's 99% of the things that they did in terms of the design of these devices is all positive. I have no gripes with that. First and foremost, Mac Mini finally has front USB-C and headphone jack.
Yes.
This is, for me, that's like quantum shift, and it's stupid to put it that way, because that's where they should have always been, and they should have never been removed in the first place as an idea from the front, because you definitely want to have front access to at least one USB or something, so that you can work with either a disk or a USB stick or whatever. And not having a headphone jack at the front, or not having headphone jack at all, which also happened, was just inexcusable in the older models.
I still have mixed feelings about this. If you asked me this about 2 or 3 years ago, when the headphone jacks were a thing and when everybody talked about them, yes, I would say it was inexcusable. But nowadays, I don't have a single headphone set that is wired.
Exactly my point. I also have mostly Bluetooth. Boses, you have Sony's. That's all good, but we are not standard people. People who are buying, computers for $600 don't have $300 extra, or don't want to spend $300 extra for a very, a quality set of Bluetooth headphones. I hope we can agree on that. It's just way too expensive.
Yes, okay. That is completely correct. And the thing is that this headset that I'm right now using, that you can probably see here, is it's under the ear bone conduction headset, and this one is something like 130 euros, and it is laughably bad when it comes to reproduction music.
Yeah.
But it is immensely useful when you want to talk to anybody.
Yeah, or record a podcast.
Yes, because I can hear everything around me, but at the same time I can clearly hear you. So this is, but this is probably the cheapest headset that I have. So yes, you're right there. But let me just switch your train of thought into another place, and let's talk about iPad minis. Because this is my biggest...
Why iPad minis?
Because the iPad mini A17. A17 is the successor for the A16 chip for the iPad, and the starting price for 128 gig model is $14.99 in the US.
The hell?
Or $4.99.
$4.99.
$4.99. But in Croatia it's €680.
Of course.
Euros for the starting model.
Of course.
And this is one thing. And the other thing is that this is actually an interesting iPad because it supports Apple Pencil Pro.
Okay.
So you can actually use it for the things that we are doing. So the note-taking and the
bad
let's
drawings.
say from time to time to demonstrate something or to just jot things down to the students. So this is a device that would make sense if the price made sense in Croatia.
Which it doesn't.
Which it doesn't, yes.
For that price, you can buy almost the Mac Mini, almost, and missing $100.
Just go with the cellular version, and you're able to buy the Mac Mini, or go with the 256 gigabyte version, and you can buy a Mac Mini for that price.
Excellent. Okay, that's the front part. The rear part is, of course, power connector, Ethernet, HDMI, and then Thunderbolt ports. On the M4 Pro, as I said, it's Thunderbolt 5, 3 of them. And on the regular, it's 3 Thunderbolt 4 ports. I think that's more than enough. I would like to still have some regular USB connectors, but nowadays, it seems that everybody resigned to the fact that they have to buy some kind of a Thunderbolt dock or a hub or something, which still doesn't make any sense. They're still incredibly expensive and quite finicky. I've read, by the way, I read multiple articles about Thunderbolt 5 and SSDs and a couple of hubs that came out as well. Nobody is meeting the speeds that have been kind of like touted that are going to happen on Thunderbolt 5. There seems to be some kind of issue with that, along with the cables and all of the other hoopla that we went through as well. Hence the reason why I bought so many of these super expensive cables last year, and why I politely asked you, after you asked me what I want for Christmas, I asked you one more Apple Pro cable. Otherwise, I was screwed, and I'm using it here in the studio for connecting one of my most expensive sound cards. Otherwise, it just wouldn't work for the length of the cable that I needed. Before going some kind of optical solution, which I do have, but for other reasons, and it's not Thunderbolt 4, it's Thunderbolt 3, so older one.
Yes, but the problem is always going to be the cables. I have a cat problem with the cables, and my cat has eaten through...
You have a fur problem, yes.
Yes, but the thing is that the thing that I wanted to mention it because the cat has impeccable taste.
Oh yes,
she's eating from the best cables downwards. So she ate the most expensive, the quickest cable that I had on my table, and then she continued downwards, and she's completely ignoring the cables that are USB 2 or even USB 1. So I have a serious cat problem.
You have a cat with expensive taste, literally.
Yes.
Oh man, the level of first world problems that you have, you know.
Yes, it's just the I just decided to play my life on hard level, so it's always the same thing.
Sure, that's called the life on the hard level. What else?
And anyways, do continue to rant on about how it is different because you cannot afford
Thunderbolt hubs.
Thunderbolt hubs and everything else connected to the. Okay, but let me just interject. Everything that is considered Apple periphery is extremely expensive. Some things for a reason, for example, Thunderbolt cables, but some things actually without any particular reason.
I'm with you, but I'm not only talking about Apple now.
Yes.
Because both you and I went with some of the Intel's 12 Gen CPUs on our last desktops. AMD is exactly in the same place right now. There are now standard, at least for the motherboards that we buy, standard Thunderbolt connectors on both.
Yes, but what is amazing for me is that a lot of the laptops still don't get the Thunderbolt connector on them. So you have the USB 3 connector, but it is not Thunderbolt capable.
Yeah, that's changing slowly, very slowly, but still changing. And more to the point, when we are on the topic of the hubs, one of the latest ones that came out is from OWC, Thunderbolt 5 hub, the basic one with 5 ports, $189. But I also saw some more expensive ones,
which is not that expensive considering everything.
Yeah, considering the standard prices, which are €300 plus, easily for the more advanced ones. And
also, you can use it basically as a cheap version of 40 gig network. But then when you take a look at it like that, it actually, the price is completely fine.
Yeah, I did see some documents last year about Thunderbolt 5 that is going, basically it enables you to connect computers via cable directly and acts as if it's a network. Yeah, that's a good shout. I completely forgot about that one, but you remembered me now, or now you made me remember that as well.
Yes, but the thing is that this is going to make sense for the simple reason of the networking is not keeping up with the rest of computers.
You mean desktop networking?
No, all the networking. When it comes to networking, you can go what is expected of you if you want to keep up with all the different technologies of Thunderbolt 4, SSDs and so on. You basically are required to get at least 10G, if not 40G, in your home.
Please don't mention 40G.
So, if you mention 40G, yes, we know what's going to be with the problem.
If you mention 40G too much, we're going to get cancelled.
No. Okay, this is one thing, but let's go with the 100G then.
5025.
Yeah, I'm not going to go with the ones that are just 2.5 is to 1 or to 10. I'm just going to 110, 100. That's it. 40G is in a normally because there is equipment out there, but the thing is that it still is not keeping up with the rest of the environment.
It doesn't work properly.
I didn't hear it, sorry.
It doesn't work properly.
That's completely fine. That's completely fine because neither does the Ethernet on 1 gig on most of the cards, so that's fine.
Why not? It works perfectly when you LACP them.
I had a huge battle, and this is going to be another episode that we are going to be discussing one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
Is that this HP laptop had a huge problem with the LAN card.
Mm-hmm.
The LAN card itself was going. It was just basically disabling itself all the time. With standard hardware and started everything. Then what I had to do, I had to actually download the drivers from the site, blacklist the HP drivers, and then everything was fine. Okay.
It's been a while since I heard a crap like that.
Yes, but as I said, the thing is that when you're running on... Did I mention that this is an AMD?
No.
So when you're running the AMD platform and you're running HP laptop, this is not going to be a match made in heaven.
Okay, that's what you said, just as long as we understand each other. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, by the way, just so that you know.
Yes, okay, go.
Cables. Next topic, cables. Even the shortest cables that you can buy, and not necessarily Apple ones, I didn't even see if they made any new Thunderbolt 5 cables, which, if they did, they are sure going to be cheap. The cheapest cables that I could find from some kind of a brand manufacturer like OWC is $20 for the Thunderbolt 5 cable, which seems actually a little bit more reasonable than what it was in Thunderbolt 4 and 3 days. At that point in time, the cables were actually quite a bit more expensive. I could, if I start going through my business Amazon account, and if I start counting all of the amount of money that I've spent on Thunderbolt cables from my OWC and a couple of others, I think we could buy a decent second-hand car for the amount of money that I spent there, trying to resolve all of the issues that I had with cables over a longer period of time. And everybody knows what I'm talking about, whoever used Thunderbolt or anything that's longer than, let's say, half a meter or something like that. All of those problems keep on creeping in. That's the first part of the problem. The second part, USB, we're not going to go there. We already discussed that heavily in one of the previous episodes. There are a pile of crap of standards and renames and rescheming and whatnot. But the problem is that if you buy, the fancy schmancy cables for mobile phones that can charge your phone very quickly, that doesn't necessarily mean that they are faster than USB 2. Stuff like that. That's very common.
As I said, I got you this.
Mm-hmm.
And you can be amazed. For example, this is a new cable. Okay, just let me quickly explain what this is. This is a USB tester.
Mm-hmm.
It shows you what is connected to which part of the connection is connected to what.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, this is a pretty expensive USB cable.
Mm-hmm.
This is more or less fine.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just get a quick. I'm going to grab something from my
cat lady
table. From my table. For example, this is also USB 3 cable. I'm going to connect it here. And let's see if I'm able to connect it. This is another thing.
Yes.
This is also a pretty decent one, but there is less LEDs.
Mm-hmm.
More LEDs means more connectivity. When you start using a thing like this, for example, this is a charging cable for the iPhone, and I can connect it using this connector here. And then if I connect the other side, you're going to see that this charging cable is much less. This has much less pins.
Mm-hmm.
So there is no way to deduce which kind of cable is which, and also if you take a notice how the cable behaves.
Yeah.
If I move it.
Yeah.
It is extremely prone to losing the connection. So this is something that is a must today. Because you need to know which cable you're buying.
No, actually, this is my conclusion that I came to last year when I bought the last batch of cables. I don't know if I told you, but I've spent close to 900 euros on that batch of cables.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah, idiot. But yeah, I was forced to. There was no other way. When I was scrolling through the lists of cables and reading through the articles, because there are people who test these things as well, I came to the conclusion that a lot of data, just like you said, is not necessarily correct. But then again, I started checking into the descriptions on Amazon. And for most of the branded cables, so Anchor cables, OWC, Apple's cables and whatnot, it is actually written, and Ugreen and a couple of others, what they support. The problem being that those cable manufacturers that are mainly after the mobile market, this is where you need to read the specification really with a lot of attention. Because you will buy a perfect cable that can do, 1 gazillion watts of charging, but it's, 480 megabits per second and stuff like that.
Yes.
This is very, very common. Hence the reason why I spent so much money on the cables, because I didn't need them to charge things. I needed them to send data. And for that purpose, I needed, Thunderbolt cables and whatnot, because they are by far the most universally usable cables in terms of the USB connectivity. They can be easily used for that and for Thunderbolt. But the opposite direction just doesn't apply. A Thunderbolt 4 or 5 cable doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be able to charge, quick charge or something like that. It's just insane that these things are happening at all in the year 2024, and it's going to continue happening in next years. I'm absolutely certain of that. And some of the cables that you asked me about last week, if you remember those with the displays, the SOPIs and whatnot, which are really good cables. They charge mobile stuff really well. but they're something like USB 3 or maybe 3.1 or something like that. They're not over 10 gigabits per second. They do work perfectly, and I have zero issues with them. But still, I would like them to be, faster than USB 3, which is a standard that's 15 plus years old. Standard thing that this is going to become a topic when people start buying these new Macs. They're soon going to rediscover their eternal love for the high quality cables. Sarcasm on sarcasm.
But the thing is that we are stepping into the realm of people actually don't caring about any of the things that we mentioned, simply because they don't actually use any of those. Most of the people are completely happy with having a laptop, a charger. If the charger is quick enough, nobody's going to pay attention. Is it 30 watts, 60 watts, 100 watts, 200 watts power delivery, whatever? The charger is going to say, okay, it takes a little bit longer to charge. And this is one of those things that scares me, because this makes the manufacturers actually not care about the rest of us. Yes, because no, it's not just complacency. They just simply can say, okay, we are not going to design for a normal person, what I would consider a normal person. So a person who has some sort of requirement for my laptop to be able to, I don't know, charge or transfer data or have a normal connector that is working all the time.
Not partially.
So yes. So this is the thing that actually bothers me, because, as I said, it creates a problem, and it creates a problem that I'm unable to solve. I'm unable to solve the problem with having not enough ports on my laptop, because there's nothing I can do.
This is also a very good topic for discussion for a future episode. I think in general, we should just collect all of the cables that we have and just live test them in front of the camera and just do a live stream or something with this, because I think the results are going to be very, very interesting.
Yes, yes. Cables are becoming, I wouldn't say bad. I would say even worse.
Yes, just like connectivity on said products.
But then again, okay, let's go back to the Apple.
Yeah, let's go to the Apple. I wanted to ask you a question.
Yes.
Mr. Apple ecosystem, because you have an iPhone as well.
Yes.
What do you...
And the AirPods?
And yeah, you don't have to count all of them. What about Apple Intelligence?
I have absolutely no idea, because, as you know, we're the third world country when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm.
So Apple Intelligence is not included at all in any of the models that are sold in the in the EU.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear something on Reddit or on X or something when that's going to change?
I don't know. I think that what they are trying to do is they're trying to come into compliance with GDPR and everything else. And this is going to be a huge problem for them, because from this perspective right now, the way that they are doing things, they cannot cross-learn the AI between Europe and the States.
Mm-hmm.
Because they are not completely sure what is going to happen with the user data. And this is one of the biggest problems, because if you're learning from the data that is available in the States, and you somehow manage to get the data from the Europe displayed in any kind of form in the States, and you cannot predict this, because LLMs are not predictable in this way.
Mm-hmm.
This can be a big problem, and I think this is the reason. And I know this is the reason why Apple is so. I would say that they are being careful, because they don't want to end up with the problem with the GDPR.
Okay. There's one more discussion, at least one more. Maybe there are a couple more to be had related to Mac Mini, which is there are a couple of structural changes in the way in which external displays are managed. So the base model M4 now can connect to up to 3 external monitors. This is quite a big change compared to M1, M2, where you could only connect up to 2, if I remember correctly. So that's a step in the right direction. Also, there are some additions in terms of the frequency, refresh rates and whatnots, but that's less of a thing that we need to worry about all that much. Generally speaking, I would say that they are moving in the right direction in terms of getting back to the base functionality that we used to have many, many moons ago, which is, I want to have 5 monitors, please do not stand in my way.
Yes.
This has been a fundamental issue that I had for quite a while with Apple. Even in the Intel days, there were issues with that. Actually, you were immensely helpful in that regard. At a certain point in the past, when I was still doing a lot of online lectures and using Mac as a primary device, because I was able to have that eGPU with your Radeon card inside, which worked really well with everything apart from Atom Mini, because HDCP or some kind of issue like that, they never really bothered to spend enormous amount of time to try to rectify that. I even bought those vertex analyzers for HDMI and for duplication and whatnot. We didn't get anywhere, but they're always good to have. You never know when you're going to need them, especially in our less than podcast business. We just do it on the side. But still, sometimes when you do video production, these sorts of devices are very valuable. But the fact that you actually can connect to 3 monitors to a base model, I mean, hallelujah. Well, finally, hello, Apple. Welcome back to the real world.
Okay.
Did you have any problems with your Mac Mini at all since you bought it?
No. Both M1s, because I have a Mac Mini and I have an Air, both of them are behaving exactly as they were on the first day when I bought them. And I think that this is one of those things where I'm completely happy with the results. The only thing that I would say is that they are just too expensive when it comes to actually having to buy them. Some of them are actually too expensive to when it comes to initial price, but when it comes to reliability, I don't think that there is anything to say about Apple's products. People are usually droning on about that some of the Apple's product has problems. Yes, they had. When compared to everything else, I think that's negligible.
Yep.
And it is expected when it comes to creating hundreds of billions of products.
Okay. One difference in terms of these two Mac Mini models with relationship to displays. The base model supports, as I said, free video outputs, so basically 3 monitors, DisplayPort 1.4, while the M4 Pro supports DisplayPort 2.1, much newer. So that's that, and as a result of this, there will be some differences in terms of the frequency and whatnot, probably. And you can actually use, for example, HDMI is mentioned in their specification sheet as well. Just as an example, on M4 Pro, HDMI video output can support one display up to 8K resolution at 60 or 4K resolution to 40 Hz for both of the models. So 8K 60, I'm not exactly a big fan of big resolutions, but there will be people who will appreciate that as well. And some of the built-in things that it has, like, some of the accelerations available for audio, video, and whatnot. Most people are going to actually recognize the fact that this is good. Then Bluetooth 5.3. There are upgrades available for 10G as well, if you want to, I think only on the Pro model, if I remember correctly. And Wi-Fi is 6E, so pretty much up to date. And device itself is ridiculously small and very light, less than 700 grams. Any of the aforementioned 2 models. I don't know. I think I'm going to wait a while. For me, I'm thinking about switching some of my music-related stuff to finally to the M generation. I think that the plugins are finally ready, which is good. And then for me, M4 Pro would be definitely a better choice, so that I don't run out of power, especially because of Thunderbolt 5, a topic that's going to be reoccurring in the future, I'm sure. but the price difference between those two models in Croatia just doesn't make any sense. I saw some analysis on the US pricing. Basically, somebody said, and correctly pointed out, by the way, that for one of the Mac Mini M4 Pros, you can buy two of the regular ones. Okay, literally, you can buy two of them, and still you have something like $1 or $2 in your pocket or something. Basically, for the price of one Pro, you get one base model for free, and still have a little bit of money left in your pocket, which is hilarious.
Yes, but the thing is that this is what I wanted to say, is that I don't understand what is going to be the strategy that Apple is going to do, because they obviously are going to they went and decided they're not going to be heavily investing into marketing minis M2 and M3, even if they existed, because some of them are, from what I see, they were just paper launches, because I didn't see many of them in the wild. Especially for the reason because the people were pretty happy with the M1s. So nobody bought the M2 or M3 because it didn't make any sense. M4 now makes sense. And now what? Are you going to go with the Air that is going to be quick enough? Or are you going to go with the Pro that is going to be also quick but much more expensive? Or do you go with the iMac, which is not that expensive when compared to Mini, and you get a monitor?
What's your take on that one? I don't know. I'm most definitely not an iMac user, although I have one waiting for me in the office, which you want to have for yourself. I dislike the focus of the iMac on the stupid colors, but that's just me, because there will definitely be people who appreciate that, and I have no problems with that. They basically, if I remember correctly, the iMacs are still M3 based or something. I don't know if they introduced M4 models. I don't remember. I think I saw something on some of the videos, but these machines are not cheap.
No, they are not.
You know, that's
and this is a bit. This is the thing that that actually is not completely clear to me, because what they are doing is they are introducing new models that are either extremely expensive or extremely cheap when it comes to Apple.
Yeah, there are M4 models out. They were launched as well, just as a side note.
Yes, there are models, but as I said, 2,000 euros plus.
Yeah, I didn't really check the prices of those at all. I did hear in one of the videos of somebody on YouTube that they were launched. But for me, when I look at the web page presenting the iMac, for me, that seems like something that, I don't know, children would use. That's the way in which the product has been presented. That's what I'm saying. Not necessarily that it's a bad product, but it's still, you know, kind of funny. And in terms of the prices, when you take a look at the prices of the M4 based ones, you know, the smallest one, the M4 based smallest one, is $1,300 in the US.
Yes, which is basically double the price of the Mini.
Yeah, and that's 8 core, so that's a shrunk down version of the regular M4. Then the 1010 is $1,500. Which also comes, both of them come with 256 gigabytes of storage, which, especially on a desktop machine, is a big no-no.
I think that what is happening right now is that somebody in the Apple land has a huge problem, because they need to design the pricing for the different versions of the models that they have available, and what they have to work with is either M4s, which are insanely quick compared to what an average user needs. So they need to wait to basically oversell you, because there is no way you can use the power that you're going to get even in the base model. So they have a huge problem with trying to explain to people why do they need an M4 Pro and M4 Max or something. Because if you were completely if you were able to do your job with the regular M3, for example, why would you need M4 Max?
Well, M4 Max is actually our next short topic before we finish this thing. 16 core CPU, 12 performance cores, 4 efficiency cores. It's something like 2 point something times faster than the M1 Max. Don't know why they're comparing it to that one. Up to 2.5 times faster than the PC chips. That's what their marketing is saying. M4 supports up to 128 gigabytes of memory and up to 546 gigabytes per second of memory bandwidth, whatnot. I don't see people buying that one at all unless they're doing heavy video editing or something like that. I just don't see the point.
I'm going to go with I don't see the point at all. Because what is happening is that I think that what they're introducing with the Max line is they're doing the same thing that the all the different manufacturers of different hardware were doing when they were introducing the highest end possible graphics card, for example.
Mm-hmm.
They're just putting something on the market to make everything else look cheap. M4 Max doesn't make any sense if you're not doing something that is so much an outlier for everything else that it doesn't make any sense. So you can probably go with a version of the Mac that is going to be, I don't know, fully. Probably let's go with is there a new Mac Studio?
No.
No, Mac Studio is still M2.
Uh-huh.
So iPads are okay. This is a strange thing. iPads have M4 chips. Mac Studio, which is supposed to be a let's say business model or a faster model of something that you can use as your desktop, is still on M2. Macs themselves, Mac Pro is still stuck in the M2 Ultra.
You can forget about that one. That one doesn't make any sense at all.
And when it comes to everything else, it actually makes sense either to buy an iMac or a MacBook Pro or a Mac Mini. And I think that from the price perspective, Mac Mini is probably the most sensible option.
I don't know. Even if
and I want to say just one thing: when you were talking about the chips and the resolution and everything else,
uh-huh.
Yes, but I know why the resolution is as it is. They have to push for the 4K to 240, simply because this is a computer that is comparable to most workstations in the market.
Uh-huh.
They have to push for the high-end workstation market because this is a competitor on this market. So you are going to be using and buying something that is actually intended to be a thing that is going to be used as a workstation.
I would say that would probably need to be the use case for Mac Studio, not for the Mac Mini. But with the overlap between the generations and with the strength of these chips and the speed, somebody might actually I can see quite a lot of people thinking exactly the same thing. I'm just going to buy a Mac Mini. That's going to be my workstation computer. Why not?
But you can buy for $30.99 dollars United States. You can buy the high-end Mini with 12-core CPU, a 16-core GPU, 24 gigabytes of memory, and half a terabyte of storage.
Mm-hmm.
There goes the storage again, but it's basically the M4 Pro.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a pretty quick chip that can do everything that you throw at it. What can you do? 8K editing.
No, I don't want to do that.
Yes, no, nobody wants to do this, but it's possible on this configuration.
Hollywood might want, but we don't.
The thing that I'm trying to say is that Apple has never been cheaper when it comes to price performance.
Yeah. Well, that actually stands. Yeah, that's a very good way of expressing what we are discussing. Yeah.
Okay. There is a thing that new. For example, I'm going to just go and see what is happening in the Intel land, in the La La Land of the people who don't know what they're doing.
You're being.
I just want to be able to just compare prices. I'm going to go with what is probably the most ultra portable, everything laptop. Let's go with the Core Ultra Copilot everything.
Everything.
No, the thing is that when you go and think about what can be bought and what is available on the market, the thing is that as I said, Apple has suddenly become a reasonable option. It's not that reasonable, but it's a reasonable option. So, for example, a high-end workstation from Lenovo is around $2,000. And I'm talking about a ThinkPad workstation, so an actual laptop. And for that kind of money, you get. Let me just quickly scroll through the configuration. Okay, this is discontinued. Everything is discontinued. So for $250, you are getting Core Ultra 7 with Windows 11, 32 gigs of RAM, and 1 terabyte of SSD. By any comparison, this is a slower computer. And this is going to be much more costly than the Mini. Okay, you get a laptop, you get a nice screen, or nice-ish screen, because I'm not that happy with the screens that you get with the Lenovo's. But then, again, there are different things. Also, what I am not failing to notice that right now Lenovo has a huge problem, and this is going to be something that we are going to be talking this week at least, because I want to try to talk to you about why is right now everything on the Lenovo's website 50% off.
I don't know. Black
They're
Week?
actually selling P1 Gen 7 Intel Ultra 9 5.10 gigahertz with 32 gigs of RAM, okay, for 45% off.
Excellent. Give me the link. I might be interested.
I think that this is only available for the USA.
That doesn't really matter. We can always make that happen.
Okay, there is that, of course. But as I said, I don't have any more needs for faster hardware.
But why?
I don't know.
Why are you then considering M4 for a Mac Mini?
I have a knack for wanting to use something which is instant. Let me try to explain this. It's not that I need a computer that is fast for, I don't know, or something. I just want, when I try to open the application, the application opens instantly.
So you are basically the same with the same problem that I had last week, when I finally lost my patience with my old Dell laptop and started heavily using my Copilot Snapdragon thing, because it's much faster, much faster.
Give me a second. You're going to interject something into this.
Oh yes. Oh Lord, what the hell is he going to do now?
No. I need to do something.
Is it the cat?
No.
Damn it.
I had to deal with my nose because, as I said, I have a slight cold, and I'm trying to to find a way how to skip work tomorrow. But unfortunately,
not going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen. Yes.
Okay, let's wrap this thing up.
Yes.
I think we've covered everything. So, thanks, guys, for being with us again. We had a little bit of a 1 hour chat about the latest Apple products. We might have some more in the future. But until then, I've been Vedran.
I'm still Yasmin, hopefully, if something hasn't changed in the last couple of years.
Runny nosy Yasmin.
Runny nosy Yasmin, and we are going to see you in the next episode.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See ya. Bye.
Bye.